We're beginning Hasbar 4:1 in Masechta Brachot, Daf Yud Gimel Amid Bet. And the focus of the next piece of the Gemara is about the Mishnah recording Rabbi Meir's opinion regarding interrupting a person while they are saying the Shema, whether they're between paragraphs, whether they're in the middle of a paragraph, etc. And the words of umeshiv, which means to respond. So look at the words a second. Baprakim, in middle of the in between the paragraphs, shoel b'fnei hakavod, one may inquire to those who require respect, umeshiv, and one may respond. But it doesn't tell us to whom we respond. And the same thing when it comes to the same discrepancy comes as well be'emtza. When you're in the middle of the paragraph, shoel b'fnei hayira, you may inquire to someone who requires that you fear, umeshiv, and you may respond. But again, we don't know what category of person we are allowed to respond to. Divri Rabbi Meir. These are the words of Rabbi Meir. So we've made an assumption to assume that if it's shoel hakavod, it must be meshiv hakavod. And when it talks about yira, shoel b'fnei yira, that meshiv hayira. We've made that assumption, but we're not really sure that that's the case. And the Gemara wants to really test that and say, what is it? Why did the Mishnah leave out the category of who you can respond to? Especially if you look at the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda, it says very clearly who you can answer for. Umeshiv nifnei hakavod. And when it comes to Baprakim, Meshiv shal mechol adam. So it's not consistent in the style of the Mishnah. Umeshiv, it leaves it blank by Rabbi Meir, and Rabbi Yehuda, it fills it in. So that's what the Gemara says. We want to create some clarity. All right, now we're going to go to the Gemara text. Now, something else to keep in mind when we're learning this piece of Gemara. When you inquire about someone's welfare, that's your initiative, and that means that you need, if you're in the middle of doing something and you stop and you go and greet somebody, that is more of a distraction than if you're in the middle of someone and someone comes over to you and you have to respond to them. So inquiring about somebody is in its sense a kind of stricter behavior. It requires more of a distraction, and therefore we have to be a little stricter when it comes to inquiring about someone. Do you really stop what you're doing and focus on somebody? When it comes to responding, it's less of a distraction. It's still a distraction. But meshiv, to respond to someone's inquiry, is less of a distraction. It takes less mental energy from you, and therefore we're not as strict. Now we see this very clearly in Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. We always see that when it comes to shoel, it's a higher level than when it comes to meshiv, when it comes to the category of responding. Rabbi Meir were not really clear. What is the word meshiv? Who is it referring to? What category? So the Gemara is going to take the position that we can make an inference. And what's the inference? If shoel, I can do it for kavod, I certainly can meshiv for kavod. So if I can certainly respond to someone for kavod, I don't need the Mishnah to teach me that. I can kind of figure that out on my own from shoel. Rather, there must be a lower category of people that I can respond to. And that's where the Mishnah is going to go. Let's see. If you're not sure, please play this part over again. Make sure you understand it before you go on into the Gemara. And the Gemara quotes the Mishnah, Baprakim, shoel, in between paragraphs. One may respond, v'chule, etc. And the Mishnah said, meshiv, you can respond. And the Gemara says, machmas mai, to who? To what category of person can you respond when you're in between the paragraphs of Shema? Ilema, do we say mifnei kavod, that it's in the category of a person that requires respect? Hashta misha'al sha'il, we already know it from, we can already deduce that from the category of, when we're in circumstances of inquiring about someone. Reb Meir said in the beginning, by baprakim, between paragraphs, one may inquire for kavod. So certainly, to respond to someone in kavod is a reasonable inference. Haduri mibaye, was it really necessary for the Mishnah to say, when it comes to Meshiv, also it could do it for Kavod? Doesn't seem, it seems like it seems to us that it's not necessary. Unless, of course, Meshiv is teaching us something other than Kavod. Ella, rather, show lifnei hakavod, when Rabbi Meir says that you may inquire when it comes to someone of kavod in between the paragraphs, umeshiv, and you may respond, he probably means that you can respond l'shalom l'chol adam, even a lesser category of people. Just anybody, not even someone who have kavod. Because we said earlier in this video that to respond to someone is less of mental energy, it's less of a mental distraction, it's not your initiative, and therefore we are less strict of the category of when one can respond. And we are left with this question, and we're going to leave it here.